Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an absolute delight. You guys know I love doing these videos. I love getting to sit and talk to people who have inspired me throughout the years or who have been parts of projects that I've absolutely adored. And anyone who knows me knows I am so insufferably annoying about Supernatural. Hang on, full transparency, okay? I'm recording this after I did the interview. My hat has slipped. My hair is messed up. Oh, mother of Jesus. My conversation's so good, the hat was shaking down to my eyebrows. Today's guest was the absolutely wonderful Timothy Omundson. Most of you guys would probably know Timothy from Psych, Galavant, Xena, and I loved all of those shows. I've seen all of those shows. I absolutely adored Psych. But my heart, listen, it's in Supernatural, alright? And Timothy, of course, played Cain in Supernatural. We got to sit down and talk all things acting, everything. We talked about Oreos, we talked about Richard Harris, I think. Sometimes I just talk and my mind just turns off and I'm like, have I been speaking too long? I'm sorry. He's an absolute delight, a fantastic conversationalist and such a beautiful soul with such a kind heart. I always say with these videos that I'm so lucky whenever anybody agrees to sit down and talk, because time is absolutely precious, and to share your time with somebody, especially someone who you don't particularly know. Me, hello, when I reach out to people, they don't know who I am. They're like, who? So it's an absolute delight and a treasure when I get to sit down and talk to people and pick their brain about the creative process, because, you know, usually with interviews, they're more short format, right? But with the podcast style, you know, you're lucky enough to get to really go in on things and let your guest speak without interrupting them every 5 seconds, trying to get a viral moment. So it was so lovely getting to just hear him talk about his experience, getting to hear him talk as well about returning to acting now with the new outlook on things, given, you know, his disability and how that would be worked into roles. It was absolutely fascinating to hear and so inspiring to listen to. So yeah, a huge thank you to Timothy, you crazy son of a bitch, for saying yes. It's an absolute delight to talk with him, and I'm just so absolutely delighted and lucky to have had this opportunity. So Timothy, big thanks to you. I've linked all Timothy's socials down below, anywhere you can find him. He also said he's a convention coming up this weekend, and I'm almost certain I'm going to get this video up before then, because it's me. All I ever do is edit. So yeah, here is my chat with Timothy.
How are you, man? Well, this only took 7 months to actually make happen.
I know, I was thinking actually, I can't even remember when I first brought it up to you. I just remember talking about Oreos.
Yeah, you're gluten-free, if I recall.
Yeah.
And your plight not being able to find them in Ireland.
We don't do them. We do a very small version of them. It's like €5 for like 5 tiny little ones in a packet. So my mind was blown when I went to LA and found them. I was like,
does this all look okay?
yeah, looks perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely perfect. Is that a pumpkin?
It is a not only is it a pumpkin. Hang on, I gotta switch over here and get it. Cane pumpkin.
No.
Let's try that little Funko buddy. Little caney Funko. Hang on, I'll put it on my toys to show you. I've already destroyed the interview. These are amazing things. A great fan gave me this one. Used to light up. I think his battery's dead. But it's a cane pumpkin. How freaking cool is that? And somewhere the artist that did this actually carved an actual pumpkin, a cane pumpkin, which somewhere I've got a photo of, which I'll post. Now that it's getting close to Halloween, I got to post it up. And then I show my little cane Funko buddy.
Oh, I love him.
With his little blade. But then even more fun, I have this baby, which a fan gave me this at a convention recently, which they bought at a props house. This is one of the real first blades from the show.
No way, and they gave it to you?
They gave it to me at a convention recently, which was lovely.
Oh my!
Because that is how the Supernatural fans roll. They're all amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see right here. I do. The replica of the first blade. What's covering it? Oh, an angel blade. And I think I have some Supernatural stuff. And I bought a load of replicas. I regret nothing.
I think I've asked this before. Are you Dublin? Or are you you're in the middle, aren't you? Or are you...
I am southwest, so I'm in Limerick.
Yeah, Limerick, that's what it was. Can remember Limerick or Tipperary.
It's okay. Not many people have heard of Limerick. It's usually Dublin. But yeah, I'm sorry if I ruined your background, by the way, for asking you to bring them up. I
Oh
was,
no, I wanted to show you. I put them out there so you could see them, but obviously they weren't. You couldn't see them well enough if you thought it was a real pumpkin. But I mean, the fact that I did show you first for up close because it was so just so. I'm gonna put it up there more so you can get a
I do.
screenshot of it.
Yeah, we can full screen.
Ridiculous things actors have in their home with their faces on them. We are vain beasts after all.
I mean, but it must be strange for you, is it, to like that have someone come up with the sickest gifts that have your face on it?
It is strange is the word, yes. Humbling is another. You get in this, I got in this business just hoping to work, let alone, in fact, now that after 30 years of doing it, not on my working, it's work that people, that really resonates with people, and they put their hard-earned time into crafting things like this, and it's incredibly humbling and puts me in awe of and fills me with gratitude.
Yeah, because we were just because we're on the topic of Kane, I guess we'll stay there for a second. I wasn't gonna show you because I was like, don't be weird, but fuck it, you seem like someone that would appreciate it. I have a bunch of like supernatural tattoos scattered all around the place, but one of my favorites is one that you see all.
Oh, you got the first blade tattoo. That's dope.
Yeah, I was like, we have to put her on because it's like a small little charm bracelet with all little pieces from the show. The
Oh,
anti-possession.
I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah, we got the Samulet, a little feather. Um, but I always wonder, like, from your point of view, because I do a lot of conventions. I go to a lot of conventions for a lot of different shows. There's just something so warm and fuzzy about it. But for the creatives on the other side, I imagine it is quite tiring because it's a lot of travel and it's a long weekend. Having been a part of such big franchises, what is it usually that people want to talk to you about or that people most recognize you from?
It depends on, it honestly depends on what kind of show I'm at. I mean, obviously, if it's a supernatural show, then it's supernatural.
Mm,
If it's a general con, then it'll be a lot of psych
mm,
in more recent days. But the conventions are the amazing thing. I started doing conventions as appearing at them 25 years ago in the world of Xena. So that was my sort of introduction to this mad carnival. But speaking of, if we're talking about conventions, yeah, I mean, they are exhausting. Now with a brain injury like I have, it's even about doubly so. Because, I mean, but I'm so fortunate, like, this supernatural gang, these amazing carnival workers that I'm in with now, of all my my actor friends. Like we've traveled the world together. It's amazing. So there's nothing quite like. I mean, yes, you're crippled, tired because your time zones now. I remember being in I think it was somewhere. It was either Rome or somewhere in Germany. Like just laying flat out on the floor of the green room, just because I couldn't get my eyes open, and Misha just piling I think it was chips or crisps, sorry, on my chest to see if he could wake me up. But it's just I'm these are the greatest group of guys and gals. So I mean I'm blessed to a have and even like with Xena, like there's a lot of actors I didn't work with on the show that I got to become friends with from the circuit, which is very similar to the supernatural world. Because really I just worked with the boys. But then and Misha I think and I just had one scene together, which we didn't even have dialogue together. I think.
mm,
So it was really getting to be on planes with these fellas and in hotel bars and random banquet room green rooms
mm.
where I really got to be friends with a lot of these folks. And then like I can't continue without giving credit to Rich Spade. Now Rich and I met each other freshman year of drama school, and so he was the one who kind of got me into the whole world of supernatural mostly, then other jobs prior to that. And then, but he's really the one who's like, we need to get you on the convention circuit. Or he put it, I'll never forget how he put it. It's like, here's the deal with conventions. It's like, it's all about the green room hang. So if you're not an asshole, if you're somebody we want to hang out with in a green room, after being jet lagged and having traveled for 10 hours to get somewhere and having had a solid day's worth of conversation with fans, and you just, I mean, I get so tired sometimes where I want to, by a Sunday, I want to cry. I'm so tired. But so it's like if you're hanging out with people who are dicks, like there's no point in doing it.
Yeah.
But luckily with this group, they're I'm going to say almost all amazing human beings. So it brings me incredible joy to get to travel around with these guys, and I call it the carnival circuit for a reason, because it is just crazy carnival, and the amazing folks we're meeting who this show in particular, it's something about Supernatural that just changed people's lives. I'm just so blessed to get to meet so many great fans at these shows and have them share their stories. And I think there's something about Supernatural, like I always, when you have the meet and greets, let's say the private meet and greets, I always will like go around like and just actually I don't know anymore because I know the answers. Initially, that's like, hey, why are you here? Like, what's drawing you to your 20th convention? And they always point to the people around the room, and you quickly realize it's this community. Like, the fact that people are just so like, it's become like they're the deadheads of this generation, and how they find each other and they've found their people, they found their tribes within this show, and then I'm amazed that I could be part of it.
It's so funny that you say that, because it's true. I got into Supernatural when I was 14, I think. And, I think season 4 was airing at the time. And I followed through, and I followed right up until the end, and I rewatched when I got, throughout the years, like your first job, or the night before a first date, or graduating school. I feel like it was there through everything. But I only went to my first Supernatural con last year after like.
What?
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I follow you on the Instagram, but I thought you've been going for years.
No, I do conventions. I do a bunch of conventions, but it's strictly Supernatural con. I did Crossroads in Birmingham last year.
Oh, I'll try that, because I remember we texted because I missed you down because I was at that one. And
yeah, as an outsider that has never done it, I thought it was going to be like a regular con where it's like, a big floor and everything is kind of spaced out. And then you go in and everyone's just fucking there. And you're like, oh, hey, like you're trying to rummage through your bag to try and find your lipstick, and you look up and Mark Shepard's just standing beside you like, you're right, what's wrong? And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, hello. But it's so true about that idea of like finding a community within a fandom, because I met a friend of mine there, Megan. She'll without a doubt be watching this. And from there,
hi, Megan.
But we've planned like other cons and like met up, I think twice last year and once this year at cons. And it's so true. It's the community that keeps bringing you back.
Yeah, and even for me, like it'll be, if I get an offer to do a show, it'll be like, who else is going? Who else is going to be there? Which of my pals are going to be there? So who I get to hang out with, and then obviously which town or which show it is, because there's certain promoters that are more fun than others. Do you find your community as a fan goer? But then we also, as the actor, the performers on the other side of it, we are been brought into this community, and I know for me, with my health battles over the years, and there was a moment I had at a convention in Las Vegas, which was really, it was my first convention back after the stroke, and I was finally well enough to sort of travel and was getting my voice back. So literally, I had a really difficult time speaking and getting my voice back down to where it was. I mean, it's still not there yet, but it just cognitively, it was pretty bit of a scrambled brain. But I walked on stage to the most gorgeous standing ovation, I think, and immediately just like burst into tears. Like I cried through my entire panel. Not just crying, weeping. The little boy who just saw his puppy get hit by a bus, crying. For a good 5 minutes, to the point where Rich is like, bring me, and it was during COVID, so all I quickly ran out of tissues. So I pulled a mask out of my pocket and like wiping the snot out of my face with masks. But Rich is there with the band, and so he's bringing me napkins to just try and get some of this body fluid off my face. But it was the most incredible wave of love and support I think I'd ever gotten, and it's this fandom that stuck with me while I was. I mean, it had been a couple of years now since I got sick, and just this fandom just stayed with me and waited for me, and then to walk on stage and get this tidal wave of love was something I will never forget.
It's nice as a fan to hear that kind of love and overwhelming sort of attack of feelings can be given back to you guys. Do you know what I mean? When we feel that from you.
Yeah, every show I do, and I mean, I think I'm speaking for most of the actors and actresses when I say that.
I'm gonna have to catch you at a con sometime. I
I was so bummed we missed each other at Crossroads.
Yeah,
I can't believe it was your first show, your first Supernatural convention, because you picked a good one.
but I had no idea. Like I said, I didn't know that it was so like because it is really intimate. It's in like a hotel and it's all like between two rooms. I had no idea. And Megan, my friend, she tried to warn me. She was like, "This is a lot more chill now than most cons, and you could run into anyone." And I was like, "Sure, sure." And actually, at that convention, in the airport going there, I met Misha. He just appeared out of nowhere, waiting to board the plane, and I swear to God, I thought I was gonna like puke blood or something. I was like, no way. But there is something really magic about cons, and especially like you said, I picked a damn good year. Bringing you back to the beginning of everything, because whenever I get the opportunity to sit and speak with people, I love hearing where it all came from. So you've obviously been at this a while and you've dealt with so many different mediums. But was there a point for you when you began that you realized this is a career and like I want this?
I think, see, the career point, that's the interesting part of the question. I mean, the bug of I want to be an actor, I want to do this, hit me when I was very, very young. Junior high school drama class, I was like, I realized I had a talent for this. And was taking class. I grew up in Seattle, which is a great theater city. So I was taking classes outside of school and at Seattle University, like really like building my craft. And I remember saying at 16, saying to my dad, "Okay, I've made the decision. I know I'm going to. This is what I want to do for a living. Because if you have a talent, and you don't use it, then you don't get to see you have the talent." And he was an unfulfilled artist as well. My dad wanted to be a singer and musician. He never really got the chance, went the way. So he stopped and went, "Okay, I agree." And I was very lucky that my parents both supported me through my education, and went to drama school where I met Rich Spate, which was not a cheap thing going to university. And then work-wise though, once I actually started auditioning, it was lucky enough to get that first job. I mean, I say luck because it is so much luck. Luck will get you the first job, but then by the second, third, and fourth, you really need to know what the hell you're doing. I think what that magical moment was, where I was like, "This is truly what I want to do." Probably that first day walking on a set. My first job was ridiculous. Did an episode of Seinfeld as my first time getting paid to do, and I was just no idea what I was doing. But walking onto that soundstage for the first time was truly like earth shattering to me. Cut forward or cut back a couple years later, where I got a job, which my SAG card job. First, you get into the union, and then you get your first job is called your TAB title, which means you're allowed to join the union. Second job, you're must join. So that's where you get your SAG card. So I got the SAG card on Sequest, which was this show with Roy Scheider, and I met some guys who truly became like they're still. This was 30 years now. Still some of my dearest friends. But driving onto the Universal Studios lot, well, the first time I was 5 years old as a tourist, taking the tram down, and I'll take this right, and I'll try and make it quick. So we took a trip. We drove down from Seattle when I was 5 years old to do the little Disneyland Universal Studios trip. I remember being on the tram. There's a part of the tram tour where it comes down off this hill, up like the Psych hill. Or you go down by the bottom of the hill. It curves, and it's right in front of the sound stages. I remember being 5 years old, looking out of the tram and seeing people walking around, and just at this, you're getting to see, you're seeing the outside of a factory, and having an actual visual moment going, I don't know what those people are doing, but I want to be over there. Like, I want to do that. I want to be out of this tram. I want to be over those people, one of those people walking on a set, allowed to be there, and maybe get paid. And there was a moment, so Sequest was on that same lot. There was a moment where I walked from my trailer to the stage, and guess where my trailer was? Bottom of that hill, right where the tram turns. So I walk out, I'm going to get crying. Walk out of my trailer to the stage, and I see a tram come down and tourists looking at me, and it stopped dead in my tracks and just went, holy fucking shit, it's happened. I'm now that guy that some kid's looking at on the other side of the tram. So that was just a life-changing moment to me. And then it just I was lucky enough to continue to work. don't think there was one moment where I was like, okay, now this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. But it was certainly that moment on the Universal lot, seeing the tram go by, realizing I have now come full circle, being a 5-year-old kid to now a 22-year-old man. With his peek into the world that he had hoped to so hopefully be in. And then I've just been blessed with the work I've gotten to do. I mean, I've had such an amazing career, which had a bit of a pause with the stroke, but still it's so much of it's coming back to me and being sort of circling back around. So I'm still continuing to work a bit. I mean, I'm not at the level I was, obviously, but I'm getting closer to it. Every job gets a little bit better. Like since the stroke, I don't like really working with people who don't know me or know my disability, so because it's harder. Yeah. But I've been blessed by my Psych family. Rewrote the first Psych movie to include, which we actually shot my scene in this room in my little guest house here. They rewrote the movie in 3 days to figure out how to get me in it. So they wrote a cameo shot, just a FaceTime call between me and Maggie Lawson, my dear friend, my co-star, just so I could be in the movie. And then from there on, like that was really my first time back on a job. But knowing that if I was going to fall, I had my Psych family there to pick me up. And that's continued with other shows since then. Just blessed. Like after I did Psych, I did a big show called Galavant, which is this huge fairy tale musical. Poster for it over there. Mm-hmm. Where you are. There's my face. That was created by a man named Dan Fogelman. So as I was deep in recovery from the stroke, he also created another show called This Is Us. Mm-hmm. And as I was physically getting better, like actually able to stand out of a wheelchair, let alone walk, I get a text from him saying, hey man, think about writing a character deep in recovery from a stroke. And I was like, put me in, coach, let's do it. So then we did end up doing 7 episodes of those as a guy basically playing myself, stroke survivor. And then just early in the summer, he wrote me a character in season 2 of the show Paradise, which is this massive, massive hit. So I got back to work with Dan again this beginning of the summer. Yeah, it's working with these people who continue to say, yeah, we're going to keep lifting you up and pushing you forward. Mm. So I'm a blessed man.
And you're lucky as well that, like you said, surrounding yourself with people that you trust, especially in your line of work, that must be an absolute blessing.
Yeah, I mean, working with friends is the best. Trust is just one factor, but certainly on set. But then to have, in my situation with my disabilities and the not being able to, and in fact, I was just going to my entire career now. I didn't mean to do that. Last year, a couple years ago, I was on season 1 of Percy Jackson, which was friends of mine that I met through Richard Spade. We did a show called Jericho together 17 years ago. So Dan Schatz and John Steinberg, got to call them out. They were doing another show, and I actually texted them. I was like, hey man, they were doing a show called The Old Man, which I loved with Jeff Bridges. Texted them and said, congratulations on the show. And they said, hey, we're doing this thing, Percy Jackson. We'd love to come play with you again. And I texted them back and said, just so you know, I'm not the same actor I was 17 years ago. And I got this message from them saying, we want you, whatever shape you're in, we want you to show up and we'll take care of you. And Dan was with me every take on set, which for the creator of a show is, like, they don't have any time. But still, like, he was with me every take and making sure I was okay and felt good about what I was doing.
I absolutely loved Percy Jackson, but I was that kind of kid growing up anyway. I was very much Hunger Games, Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief. All of that was my absolute shit as a kid, and I've loved the show so far. I know, was it Percy or what was it? I remember there was something that you were in and it was recent and you had a cane in it.
And that was Percy.
But I remember reading an article, I can't remember who it was by, and it was about representation and how important it is, especially in shows like Percy, like where you have these kind of high fantasy shows, something as important, as disabilities being represented, especially to a younger audience, that people could see themselves, whether you walk with a walking aid or something like that, how important it was. And I remember thinking, like, that didn't even register with me as I was watching it.
Right. I mean, it's not the point of the character. It's not, but it is a part of the character, which I kind of love it when they don't shine a light on it because it's not necessary to. Mm. Like this to jump shows again in Paradise, my character obviously walks with a cane, and has an arm that doesn't work. And I've got this huge dent on my head from when they put my skull back on after surgery. And because the nature of the show, where I'm part of the guys that have been through this battle world, and they just they made a huge scar out of my dent, which I thought was so effing cool, because it looks like, and so it's like, yeah, you look at this, my face all scarred up. I walk with a cane. One arm doesn't work. He's obviously been through some shit. Mm. And it's never explained why my character uses a cane, which I love, because it doesn't need it. Because you see somebody down the street, you don't go, hey, why are you in a wheelchair?
Yeah. Hey,
why do you have a cane? Hey, why are you at a convention wearing noise canceling headphones? Mm. We don't ask the backstory. It's just people exist as they are. And Percy was one of those worlds. It just happened that Hephaestus was a disabled god. They didn't go like, oh, Tim's disabled, we can put you in this role as a disabled god. It just was kismet that worked out that way. I mean, because I hadn't seen those guys in a long time, so they didn't know that I actually walked the cane. And I love the fact that the cane I use on Percy, they actually replicated my real life cane, like down to the handle. And I mean, they made Hephaestus had made his own because it's cool and gold, and him being a craftsman and metal worker. They're like, yeah, he's going to use this Topaz cane, which exactly is a replica of mine. But yeah, that representation was so important. And when I did. It wasn't me making a joke, but when I said basically playing myself, I meant like playing myself in where my disability was a human being was exactly the same as where this character's was. And the number of direct messages I got from all over the world, from stroke survivors or brain injury survivors, people, and just anybody walking with, who doesn't just get to skip down the street like they used to, was overwhelming. So like there is a tremendous responsibility now involved with everything I do, having to show it being, whether it's in work or walking out on stage at a convention. And for a long time after the stroke, I was in a wheelchair for a long time, not sure if I'd be able to walk again. And we hid the wheelchair for a long, long time, because didn't want it to affect whatever possible career moves would come down the road. And it was my psych coach started do that here one day. That was like, no, dude, you need to show the wheelchair. He's like, you need to show this is what the reality is. And he was absolutely right. And so from that point on, anytime I'm in public, it's like, I haven't done a wheelchair on the red carpet yet, but I certainly have done. The first red carpet I did was for This Is Us, and the second major one was Percy Jackson. And to be able to and it was a huge, this premiere for season 1 was insane. It was the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, where the show takes place. And it was a good hour and a half on my feet talking to press and photographers. Yeah, press and photographs. But just to be able, the fact that I could physically walk that with a cane for 2 hours was a huge triumph. And so that was the virtue. I mean, I would do a show I would do a red carpet in the wheelchair. I don't care. But just now the fact that I'm able to walk, I don't have to. So.
Yeah, I remember seeing all of the promo for season 1 of Percy, and I don't know, was it an interview or a photo of you I saw? And I'll always know you as Kane. Always. Every time I see you, I was like, it's fucking Kane. What's he doing?
I'll take it.
Yeah, we touched on a few shows and stuff, but you've done some film work too. And does the approach differ, the creative approach, when it comes to film or TV?
The main difference is speed, or the lack of time to play, because TV is so fast, and you'll have 7 days to shoot an episode, sometimes more or less. Days film wise, you can have 7 months, or it just depends. So you really got to. I think with TV, it's much more concentrated, having to like come up with the character right away, and a lot of it's guest starring sometimes. So you get popped onto a show like Supernatural, for example, where these guys and gals have been working together for years and years and knew each other so well. You come on as a guest, and the word guest is really important, because like your guest, it's like sharing with to a family's Thanksgiving dinner, and not knowing anybody or any of the inside jokes. And
yeah,
and luckily, a group like Supernatural, they're all lovely human beings and let you into the world immediately and make you feel at home. Ultimately, there's not much difference other than how much time you have to prepare for a character.
And do you have a preference, film or TV?
My experience has been, I've done so little film. But I do love the getting that aspect of getting more time to play with the character and get to know your crew and your cast and your directors. But I also really like the speed involved in TV.
Yeah, I always said that I was always a TV girl because I feel like there's an intimacy to TV more so than film. I'm like as a kid that you'd have to be sitting down at a certain time in front of the TV or you missed the show.
Yeah, and it's in your living room.
Yeah, exactly. Weekly.
Yeah, I mean that point of like being a kid, and as someone told me, I was like, sound like old man Tim. Kids, there was once a day where there weren't 10,000 channels. You watched what was on the TV that night. So Sunday when the Sunday paper came, you look at the TV. You look at the TV section. You go through to highlight the shows you wanted to watch that week, which this generation today, I get off my lawn. Just don't understand the immediacy of like, I can then flip through it and get anything I want, anytime I want. And I mean, the thing as an actor at these conventions, you realize when people come up, and a lot of times it'll be the first time and maybe the only time in their lives they've ever seen anyone who's been on their TV. And the intimacy of like, you have been in their living room.
Yeah.
You've been sitting with them for sometimes their entire lives, depending on the show. They grew up watching you in their living room. And I forget it sometimes, but it's always important to remember.
Yeah, because with Supernatural particularly, I have been watching the show for over half my life. And with lockdown, my mom, she works in healthcare. So she was really down and very stressed. And she was like, I need something to take my mind off things. I can't. And I was like, say no more. I'm fine. I'll wear you down. You're watching Supernatural with me. And she was like, that's not my thing. I'm not watching it. And I was like, come on, we'll make it a nightly thing. We'll do 2 or 3 episodes per night. She ended up loving it so much that we had to, yes, watch it each night, but then we had to get up early on weekends and binge it on weekends.
Ah, that's amazing. What a good daughter you are, by the way.
I tried for years to get her to watch it, and she was like, no. And there was just something about, I think it was season 5 or 6, and the turning point. She just loved it. And then I used to catch her watching it on her own. I'd be like, dude, we're supposed to watch that tomorrow. And she'd be like, shh, go to bed. It's late.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but like you said, it's in your living room. It's in your life. It's in your day-to-day. All these small little stories and little like treasured moments with shows, not just Supernatural, any show that people carry with them. There is something very special about TV.
And especially with a show like that where you watch it with your family. And I was really glad Psych was that. Psych was a show that people watch together with their families, and I'll have generations come up to me and grandfathers with all their lineage with them, saying this. And for me, like, I remember very specifically the shows I watched with my dad and how important those shows are to me. A couple of times I've been blessed to like run into actors that I used to watch with my dad, and I'm so fanboying over them. I just want to say like, no, I need you to understand, but then they get it because I get it. Like when people come up to me, like, I understand that bond of like, not only did I watch you in my living room, I watched you with this person, this family member, these children, and it's such a huge. It gets in our DNA.
I want to circle back to something you just said.
Please.
You said that you managed to meet some people that you had fanboyed over. Oh my God, tell me some stories. Come on, embarrass yourself.
Well, the fanboy moment's really more musicians than actors. That's not entirely true. I mean, think the actors.
Let's bring it back to musicians. I love music.
Okay, I am a massive Frank Turner fan. Like anyone who really knows me knows that my incredible love of Frank Turner, who's become a dear friend. Do you know Frank?
Frank Turner, I know the name.
He was a British punk, originally like a punk rocker. Now he's a little more punk folk. Yeah, so there's 2 albums you got to listen to. England Keep My Bones is the one that really introduced me to him, and then we shot Galavant in the UK, and that's when I went to the UK as a massive fan. Mm-hmm. Realized he just happened to be on tour with the album Positive Songs for Negative People, which I just fucking love this album so much. And the first show I saw him at was touring that album, and one of the songs that became my recovery anthem for the last 8 years going through. I played him so much, my daughters can now no longer listen to him because I ruined it for them. I truly have, which that's fair. Which kind of fair. Like, actors wise, there was a very exciting moment where when I was a child, Dick Van Dyke was shooting a film in my mother's tiny little coal mining town in central Washington. I remember being in my grandmother's home the night and going to bed. Mama said, "You got to get further going tomorrow. We're going to set. We're going to drive and watch this movie getting made." And me being a little kid and not knowing, someone who was like sitting out on his chair on the salon, just walking right up and saying hi, and he gave me an autograph, which I remember said, "Hi, God bless, Dick Van Dyke." And then I quickly walked away. Don't know where that autograph is. Cut to one of my earlier jobs, my career was playing the bad guy on an episode of Diagnosis Murder and getting to do a scene with Dick Van Dyke.
Did you tell him the story?
I did, and he was touched, and he's just a sweetheart of a man. But the biggest, when doing Psych, we had incredible guest stars.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, Val Kilmer, to this day, is still the one that I'm like, none of us, that's not just me, none of us on our site can believe we got to work with Val Kilmer. I was too nervous to talk to him. We chatted a bit, but I didn't want to bug him. That's when I could go back. I would sit down with him and I would talk with him for hours.
That's the worst feeling ever, though, when you don't want to annoy someone. So you're like, "Oh, I won't, it's grand," and then you're kicking yourself afterwards.
Yeah, and he would have been more than fine to chat and talk. But I realized in drama school I had a dance teacher who was this couple, Billy and Jackie Lander, taught him how to move for the Doors. So they taught his movement as Jim Morrison, which we would have talked for probably an hour about that movie if I'd been smarter, if I hadn't been too tongue tied and excited that I'm more fucking Val Kilmer's right there.
But like, does that like with Psych, like you said, you did have so many guest stars and so many like big names. A day like that on set, is that kind of it? The vibe must be different, right? And the approach to the episode or the scene must be different because
it was actually the last scene I shot as that character for the TV show, not the films. It was a very hallowed, reverent day, like everybody on set. And James Roday Rodriguez, the creator and star of our show, who lives, eats, and believes Val Kilmer from the time he was like 17 years old. So he somehow got his, honest to God, fucking hero to come do our show. And we all were sort of in the same reference level that James was. So it was really heightened. And we were like, "Look, we'll shoot this in LA. We mentioned Val, like every third episode, we talk about Val Kilmer. So someone knew a friend of a friend who said, "Val, they love you on this show so much. They mention you every third episode. You got to go do it." And so he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Like, we'll just give us a couple hours. Give us one night. We'll do it in LA." And he actually was like, "Sure," and he came and played with us.
That is sick.
It was the best. Only followed up by Tim Curry.
Tim was on Psych?
Tim did one of our most iconic episodes called American Duos, which I think was the first episode of season 2.
Oh my God, you're fucking right. Oh, you're right. Of course you are. You're in the show. Dude, you've got to tell me about that.
I mean, just to make him laugh was just, because obviously it's Tim Curry. And he was such a sweet, gentle man. And we didn't hang out a lot, but still the times we were on set together was just that wry wit and humor would come out and just, I think all of us were like, "Holy fucking shit." And truly, okay, and now this all come back to me. The biggest fanboy moment of my career in Galavant was Ricky Gervais. And I had just watched the entire series of
The Office?
I'm losing it. No, not The Office. The one where he plays the man working in the care home. But it's this beautiful, really soulful show about neurodivergent character who works in a care home and he just leads with his heart, and it's just. I wept every fucking episode.
Extras, Derek, Idiot Abroad.
Derek.
Derek?
He was called Derek, yeah.
See, I forget. Like, there's so many. I don't really look on him as an actor. I look on him as a comedian, and I forget that comedians or actors that are big over here
Yeah.
are also big over there. You know.
Exactly. But him as a writer, director, creator, show creator is what I really was stunned by. And I mean, he was massive. I remember the morning I worked with him, and the morning before we were in the throne room, and because it's Galavant, and I was taking a nap on the banquet table. And Dan Fogelman, our critic, comes over, and like you do when you're taking a nap in between scenes. And Dan, we were both geeking out the fact that Ricky was coming the next day, and he's like, "I don't know why he's doing our show," and he said, and this is going to be really self-serving to say this, but Ricky called to him and said, "Hey, can we have some fun?" Meaning, can I talk with your line? And Dan said to him, "Don't worry, my guy's one of the best I've ever worked with. You're going to have a ball." So we kind of had carte blanche to improvise and fuck around. But making Ricky Gervais laugh in between takes is one of the greatest moments of my life. And that cackle that he has is absolutely real. He was so cool. Like, he had a very set time. He had a very hard out. He would only work this number of hours. Not like an asshole, just in his contractual, like he had a hard out to get back to his hotel. So his hard out came, and it was still his off. We'd done my side of the scene, so we had his off camera where, the other actor stays to do their dialogue. And he stayed to do his off camera for me, which was A, incredibly professional, and B, just kind. Because any other actor could be like, no, fuck off, I'm done. I'm here for my allotted time, and you're all on your own. I'll be back in the hotel. So it was just a pro move and a kind-hearted move. I'm going to go, no, I'm going to stick around. So that Ricky was probably one of my, I think I've given you, 7? Where initially I was like, I can't think of one.
I love hearing stories like this because I joke about it a lot, but like my job is kind of being a fan. I do YouTube and Patreon and social media, but it's being a fan of things. And I'm someone who will just become consumed by a band or an author or a show. It's usually shows. Let's get real and be honest. I'm trying to sound cultured. I'm like, it could be.
Hey, look at the wall behind you. Those aren't books. Those aren't novels and books over there.
There's books.
It's not encyclopedias.
There is something about getting to connect with somebody that either means like an awful lot as a creative or an actor or for whatever reason. So I love hearing stories like that. I love hearing cool people like you be like, no, there was the time I was napping on a table.
So there's a convention circuit I do called GalaxyCon, which I'm getting. In fact, if you're in, I don't know when this comes out, but GalaxyCon St. Louis next weekend, I'll be there. I leave on Friday, but I always see. Well, not always. For a while, John Cleese was on this circuit, and I would see John Cleese in the green room and just go like, yeah. Because I mean, I grew up on Python, and he's the one like I have not had the balls to walk up to him. It's like, Mr. Cleese, may I please get a photo, or to say like, I love you and. And do the whole thing you do. Because, like, it's in the green room, people are tired, and he's 80 freaking years old now, and he's still on the circuit, so which means, yes, I know he would be the first one to say, I think, interviewers like, well, the divorces cost a lot of money. Yeah. But so it's like, I don't want to bother him, because he's eating, because it's our downtime. Yeah. But I've not been able to catch him when he's not, like, eating or talking to someone, but the second next time I'm in a green room with him, and he's not engaged, I'm going to beeline over like, and here's my life story and why I love you. Must demand a photograph of you.
Dude, you have to. Oh, growing up, Faulty Towers. I never got into the whole Monty Python stuff. I don't know why, but Faulty Towers growing up was always on in my house.
Well, that's you can't go wrong with Faulty Towers. It's a very different kind of humor, but just as good.
Yeah, Faulty Towers is a very English kind of humor.
Yeah, because growing up in Seattle, we would occasionally get. This is again, kids, back before the days of cable and satellite TV. You had a channel called UHF, and we would occasionally, if the weather was right, we would get the BBC coming in from Canada, which is the only place you could get Monty Python at the time. So we'd have like a very small window to watch a little bit of Monty Python. But so we watched them. But my dad loved Faulty Towers. I don't know how we got that show, but somehow it was a little more available than Python was growing up. But the movies is what I really like. Like Meaning of Life that set me on a path of finding it. Is now and also in my DNA.
It's funny that there's certain things like that just it transcends. I always make the joke of our humor over here and American humor is worlds apart.
Entirely, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like though I sort of grew up on British humor.
That's probably why you like it so and why you get it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so getting to go do Galavant and find those jokes, which it wasn't British, it was very much American humor. That's not true. No, well, it is true. It's very much America. It's much more Mel Brooks humor than Python humor.
There was a balance. It had a balance, though. In terms
Yeah, you can't have one. It can't be all one.
yeah.
It's a blend, definitely.
With doing what you do on sets and at cons, I'd imagine, you can get into conversation with either people that you admire or look up to. Have you ever gotten advice from somebody that just stuck with you in the acting realm?
Advice, not actually verbal advice. It's more of example, like just the way you behave on a set. I mean, how like bad behavior obviously stands out, but good behavior is more subtle. It's really truly like James Roday and Dule Hill on Psych sort of set the bar. They set the bar with like our show had a no asshole policy, and those guys embraced it. So it's really just how you treat other human beings, how you treat you and your family, and how you treat how you treat those around you, which is whether it's on set or off set. So yeah, so not so much words of advice, just when not being a dick.
I was just going to say, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, which if you go to a Frank show, he always goes over a list of the rules, and the number one the number one rule is don't be a dick. It's pretty basic for all things in life, let alone a Frank show.
Yeah, but not a lot of people live by that rule, unfortunately.
That's true. And honestly, I think the reason I'm back working again is by not being a dick and having these creators I've worked with in the past, over years later, going, "Oh yeah, let's bring Tim back. Let's give him another shot. He wasn't an asshole. He wasn't an insufferable prick. He's an okay actor, but he's a fun hang, and okay what he does. But most importantly, he's nice to people."
And it helps that you're a great fucking actor too, on top of all.
Thank you, my friend.
Sell yourself short.
I knew I'd let you, Kate.
Yeah, I think that's everything. I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat and pick your brain because I've spoken to a lot of actors and directors and authors, genuine authors, not making that up, on my channel. And I love hearing about the creative process because so often you don't get to see the inside of someone's,
Of course, yeah. And I don't know that I don't know if I've enlightened you at all, because I know that I would say I have a creative process other than learn the damn lines and don't be a dick. So I guess I do have a creative process.
You do.
Thank you, Kate. You've helped me articulate it.
But yeah, I always find that in terms of, particularly with somebody who has had such like a long and varied career, it's more stories and like the heartfelt little moments that I love to hear the most. So thank you for sharing some stories. And for
Thank you. I'm sorry it took so long to actually schedule this, but I mean, I'm blessed that I was on the road so much last year for conventions. Exactly. And you have me on the tiniest window, because again, I leave on Friday, I get back on Monday, home for like about 2 weeks, then I'm off to Rhode Island for another show.
God, busy.
Well, last year, Maggie Lush and I did 11 cities in 12 months for the Psychologist podcast, which was mental.
But before we go, I just want to ask you in terms of, because I forgot to ask this earlier, of course, you have the pod, you have socials, you're very much like socially online. How do you find navigating social media, especially nowadays? Because you go back 10, 15 years ago, I mean, like there was social media presence, but it's not like it is now.
Yeah, I was an early Twitter adopter because of Psych, and we had a really wonderful social media guy who Terry Goldman, bless your heart, Terry, who sort of taught the cast how to like use Psych to engage with our fans, and I loved it. I mean, I loved it. I was on it I was on it too much, but the fan engagement was really wonderful. It's changed now. I mean, I've left Twitter because various reasons. On Instagram now, not only on Facebook, but I found it recently. I still enjoy it, but it's not as good for my mental health. I'm not realizing, because I just doom scroll a lot with our current political climate, which really is getting to me. So I've had to actually go like, I am going to take a little time to not do this for an hour. I'm not going to sit here on my phone for 45 minutes. Like, why am I not getting writing? Why am I not getting anything done? Oh, that's right, because I'm on fucking Instagram looking at videos of outrage, and that's when my blood pressure's rising. So, and it's like, it's so easy to piss somebody off, and I truly try not to. As a rule, I'm proud of. I've never once told a stranger to go fuck off on social media, as much as I've wanted to. So it's like, as a rule, I don't argue with strangers on Instagram, and I post a lot of. I post a good amount of political stuff. I've pulled off on the political a bit because it's just too heated right now. But social justice stuff, particularly LGBTQ stuff I post about, I'll inevitably I'll get some right wing up there, and those ones I'll tell the fuck off. But I've still not used the words "go fuck yourself" yet. So, but I'm hoping it doesn't come. I'm really trying to. Like that. I mean, politics-wise, yeah, you can have your views. There's some things that I'm like, no, I draw my own line, and like human rights issues are another. So like, the human rights of the LGBTQ human rights, or I'm just like, I am not going to take your shit on that one. So yeah, so the answer to your question with social media, I've tried to pull back a little bit because really, it's not as fun when you're just sitting there watching the world burn around you.
Yeah, and there's been a definite shift. Good God, whatever you do, don't download TikTok. Don't do it.
Oh, no, the only reason I have it is because my daughters will send me videos, so I've been deleted it off. I'll make them bring their phone to me and show me, and I'm trying to get them to get rid of it.
The doom.
But then
there.
I do have to say one good thing about social media. It's how I met, and I've become friends with like some really great, cool people in IRL. Like that's how I originally met Frank Turner, was by tweeting him about his show. He had a show in Bath, England, and then we subsequently exchanged DMs and emails, started chatting, and it's all thanks to Twitter. And then it got ruined by that asshole.
I know. I used to love Twitter. Like it really was, especially for fandom spaces. It really used to be like the place.
Yeah, that was fun.
And now it's.
And I mean, that's how I met you, by your talk of Oreos and your struggles with finding gluten-free Oreos in the UK.
Oh my God, I remember you said something about it and you were like, I feel your plight. And I remember looking at my phone being like, and I was looking up at the fucking first blade, like, who gives a shit about the Oreos? I like him. He's cool.
Well, Maggie, my co-star and podcast star, is gluten intolerant. So through her, I've now become aware of the plight.
It is really hard. I mean, over here in Ireland, we've gotten a bit better about it, I guess, but it's so limited. It's so limited. I was in LA a few years ago, like I've said, and it's like everything has a gluten-free option. I was like, you fucking Americans are living a life I didn't even know existed.
You said you're Limerick, right?
Yeah, Limerick.
One of my favorite authors lives in Limerick. Peregrine O'Donnell.
No, how do you know? How?
Again, Twitter. He is a man who's battling MS and works with, and that's hits him with mobility. And he posted something on Twitter once about that was just so beautiful about living with his disability, and immediately searched him out and started DM. For some reason, he was foolish enough to accept my DMs, and we started chatting. But then I discovered he wrote a novel called The House on Vesper Sands, which I fucking devoured and loved, to the point loved it so much I tried to buy the rights to it, and then it didn't work out. My Galavant producer and I were going to try and get the rights to it and create it into something, but he actually sent me a copy of it because it wasn't available in the States yet. So the copy I have was from him, and I've managed to slowly keep in touch with him here, and then we still. And he's also on Instagram, so we'll still chat again now on Instagram. But I just find his writing gorgeous.
That's nuts that you even know who he is. I was a bit caught off guard by that. I'll give it to you.
Well, I'm surprised that you knew him, who he is. Not a lot of people. I mean, well, of course you're Irish. You're Irish and smart, so you would know.
There's not a lot of people from Limerick that really amount to much, and the ones that do, we all take notice of.
Okay.
Richard Harris was another one.
Who was?
Richard Harris.
I didn't know Richard was from Limerick.
Richard Harris was from Limerick. He used to drink, actually, in my local pub.
Really? I'm friends with Jared, his son, and his daughter-in-law.
Yeah, Richard was from Limerick, or at least he lived in Limerick. There's a statue of him in...
Yes.
Yeah, there's a statue of him as, oh, what was it's King? Was it Hamlet? Was it King Lear? What is it? He played a king in something. There's a statue in town of him in the whole get-up with the
Really?
crown. Yeah.
You'll have to take a picture of it and DM it to me, and I'll figure out which king it is.
Yeah, definitely. Cranberries also, Limerick.
Oh, it was. I'll tell you exactly what it was because I saw it. It was. Now it's out of my head. It was Camelot.
Is that what it was, Camelot?
He played the king in Camelot because I saw him when I was a child. He toured to that show and he brought it to Seattle. And I recently found the playbill with the picture of Richard in his crown in it. But I could be. I still need that picture though.
Yeah, I'll definitely get it for you. I'll probably be in town in the next few days. It's nuts that you saw him on stage. You saw him.
I saw him on stage when I was maybe 10 years old at a theater in Seattle doing Arthur in Camelot.
You're lucky. You're very lucky.
One of those moments that stuck with me, and then to find the playbill from the program from that day was pretty special. I just take a picture of it and send it to Jared.
I only have one. I have one playbill somewhere in my background of Richard II. I went over. It was on in Bridge Theatre in London at the start of this year. Jonathan Bailey was the lead. Phenomenal cast. It's the only playbill that I have, though.
Is it going right now?
No, Richard II. I think, is it behind me here? Yeah. It's right there. Fantastic, I have to say. I think at the moment is it called Bridgewater with Andrew Lincoln? His play is on at the moment in Bridge Theatre.
Because Supernatural's Emily Swallows is I think doing production of Richard II right now somewhere.
Is she?
I think it might be in London. She just sent me a DM about seeing a show with another friend of mine in London. So I'll have to follow up and see if that's the one she's doing.
There's way too many coincidences going on here.
It's all meant to be, my friend. By the way, do you prefer Kate or Katie?
I don't really mind. I usually go by Kate, but
Well, now I know.
I never correct.
So when I see you do a show, I'll call you Kate instead of screaming at Katie across the room.
If you called me I'd still probably answer it like yes. But yeah, look, Timothy, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much.
No, this pleasure. What a fun conversation. Thank you for inviting me to, and I hope I didn't bore all your viewers.
No, they're gonna love this one. My viewers, they love getting into the heart of things. Yeah, but thank you for being down to chat and to talk and share some stories and your time.
It was good crack, my friend.
Hey, proper use of the word.
And
that is it for this interview chat, lads. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Tim, for... Oh, my God. I'm just after importing the video. I kept that poor man on call for like an hour. Oh, my God, Tim. I'm so sorry. But that's the great thing about the style of video. You get to talk and you get to just... Like, time just kind of melts away. It's lovely when you see someone be so open and, like, you know, receptive. And he's a lovely, absolutely little ray of sunshine. Ray of fucking sunshine, delight to talk to. And like, he's been a part of so many projects, and he's, in my eyes, he's one of those actors that's like so fancy is the word that comes to mind. I don't know why, but he's so incredibly down to earth and wonderful to speak with and to listen to speak as well. So yeah, a big thank you to Timothy for talking. I've said that like 18 times. Apologies. But yeah, that is a big part of why I do these videos too, like, is to know the person and get to know the person and get really into it and hear about their life story, hear about their experiences, hear about things that they mightn't talk about on a press tour, a press run, or a red carpet, or what have you. So yeah, that was it for my chat with Timothy. I don't think I know him well enough to call him Tim. Tim, can I call you Tim? I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. I've linked all of Timothy's socials down below, my own socials down below if you want to go follow along as well. Yeah, I don't know, there's just something about doing these videos. Like, I usually sit here a little bundle of nerves beforehand, naturally, and then there's a moment afterwards when the call ends and I'm just sitting here and I'm waiting for the file to export because you have to oh my god, what am I trying to say? You have to export the file from Zoom to your computer, like, before it's saved. So, you know, you're sitting there waiting for the file to save, and I'm just like, this is my absolute favourite style of content to make. Nothing beats it, in my opinion. I love it. I love getting to talk to people and feeling like, I don't know, you're let into their life for a few minutes. Or in my case, an hour, if I fucking keep you here and keep you talking for an hour. Sorry. But yeah, I don't take these opportunities lightly. Means an awful lot to me. So I hope you guys enjoy watching along. I hope you learned a thing or two about Timothy today. You probably learned a thing or two about me that you didn't really give a shit about or want to know either. Sorry. Not really. But yeah, that's it, lads. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.